uh, Hawks, ex-listener. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, enjoy the video. You are the pro hero's Hawk psychic. You have been his psychic for about 3 months now. You admitted Hawks was a good looking guy. He was the second pro hero, and he was just a year older than you. All your friends thought you were very lucky that you were working with him. He was nice to you, and even though you didn't want to admit it, he was a flirt. He always flirted with you, and it made you blush a lot, but you will never admit it. After a while, you started to catch feelings for that pro hero, and you were nervous about it because literally you saw him every day. You guys patrolled together, went to missions together, and even do paperwork together. It was like you were with him 24/7, so it was hard avoiding him. Your friends had tried to convince you to confess, but you told them. Guys, imagine if I told him, look, he's handsome, he's a pro hero, and he could get any girl he wants. And I'm just a psychic. I cannot compare to that. Your best friend interrupted you and said, no, Yuan, you are beautiful, and every guy will be lucky to have you. So if he doesn't like you back, he's an asshole. But I'm pretty sure he does. The way he talks to you means that he probably feels something for you. So try your shot. The next day you were at the office. You were trying to avoid Hug's gaze at you. He was looking at you from across the room because you guys were in a conference. The conference only during an hour. For you, it felt like years, since Hawks was all the time staring at you, and you could feel yourself becoming redder at the second. When you went out, Hawks went behind you and whispered in your ear, Kid, go change into your hero costume. We're going to patrol, okay? Then he left. You were red as a tomato, and you went to change. After that, you guys were patrolling, and Hawks told you some pickup lines and flirted with you all the time. You felt like you were going to die of embarrassment. In your patrol, you guys met a certain someone that was a psychic for Endeavor's agency. You guys have worked with him a few times in some missions. He stopped and greeted you and Hawks. Hey Hawks! And hey Yuan! Hawks looked at you and asked, you guys in first name basis? You shook your head and said, I tell everyone to call me by my first name. You went back to the psychic and said, hey Luminous, that was his hero name. He was talking to you, and Hawks was just there standing there glaring at the poor guy. Hawks interrupted by grabbing your wrist and saying, well, Luminous, that was nice to see you, but Miss Yuan and me need to go to keep patrolling, keep the city safe. Then he took you into his arms and started flying. You let out a little gasp and said, Hawks, what was that for? He looked into your eyes and said, that guy was getting too close to you. I didn't like that. After that patrol, the words of Hawks remained in your mind. Was he jealous? No, he couldn't be. He doesn't like you like that, Yuan, you thought. When you got back to your apartment, you took your hero costume off and changed into an oversized hoodie. You were lying there watching some TV with your cat. Little did you know what was happening in Hawk's apartment. He was cursing himself. He thought, I must have sounded like an idiot when I told that to you, and she must think I'm a jealous asshole. Maybe, I don't know. Why did I fall for her? Hawks had a huge crush on you since the first day you started working under him. He was not the type to admit that because he was not one to have relationships, but he admitted he had fallen for his psychic. He tried to ignore the feelings, but he couldn't, and when he saw Endeavor's psychic, Luminous, talking to you, he grew mad. He thought to himself, I don't care anymore. I'm going to tell Yuan how I feel. He started flying over to your place and landed on the balcony and saw you watching TV. He knocked on the balcony door and you look at him with a surprised face. You opened the door and said, Hugs, what are you doing here? It's 1 in the morning. He asked, Can I come in? You nodded. Hugs sat next to you in the couch and said, Well, Yuan, you must wondering what I'm doing here. You gave a nod and he said, Please don't speak until I'm finished. Yuan, I know I acted weird when you were talking with another psychic, and I'm sorry for that. I sounded like such an asshole back there. And actually, I wanted to tell you something. I think I'm in love with you. You became flustered and took Hugs' hand and said, Hugs, I like you too. Well, I say, I'm in love with you too. He gave you a smile and leaned in and gave you a kiss. The kiss lasted a couple of minutes and he pulled away. He gave you a hug and said, Yuan, will you be mine forever, please? You nodded and you said, Of course, but please don't give the poor guy another scare like that. When you were looking at him like that, the poor guy was so scared. He gave you a chuckle and said, I make no promises, kid, but from now on, you're only mine.